Okay, basically the story is there's these orbs in a maze, and the maze represents life, represents the American Revolution in the first part. And these orbs here are the people. They start out and they're just hanging out. They're not segregated by color or anything. They are just there, talking, doing whatever, before they start rolling along through the maze. So when they start rolling through the maze, they're going through this long, safe corridor where, like, nothing can happen or anything. They're just moving forward, basically, through time and through life. And in terms of the American Revolution, this represents the time before the fight with Great Britain during salutary neglect, when everything was fine because Britain was ignoring them. They had good economy. Everybody was getting along because there were no problems. But what happens as they keep rolling through the maze is they encounter this trap that takes one of the red orbs that rolls over it and flings him right over the edge of the maze to his death. And when the orbs see this, they freak out. The red orbs just lost one of their own. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they should go forward or go back. So they stop basically in front of the area where the trap was, and they are just scared and arguing over what they should do. And this is when the orbs start to separate by color and separate by ideas, with the blue orbs saying, we need to go back, and the red orbs saying, we need to go on. Like, the Loyalists said, we need to go back, we need to repair our relationship with Great Britain, we need to go find another path. Well, the red orbs, the patriots, were saying, no, we need to go on, we can't let tyrannical Great Britain rule us, we have to keep going forward, they've attacked us, we need to just keep moving on until we have our freedoms and are completely independent from Great Britain. So basically the result of this argument is the red orbs line up behind the blue orbs and start forcing them on through the maze. They just decide to disregard what their portion of them think and just force them onward and kind of take away their freedom along this path where if they go back and try to fight the red orbs, they can easily just get pushed off the edge and really die. Next, as they keep on rolling, they encounter another trap, and they know that they need to trigger it to move on and keep going. And so the red orbs single out a blue orb and force him over the trap and force him to die. Well, they want to even out the numbers. They want the blue orbs to kind of feel what they felt. And so they force this blue orb to die so that they can all move on. So after that, they reach the end of this maze. They reach their goal, which is basically the end of the American Revolution. The red orbs have successfully forced everyone forward into independence, into this new government, into a new era, and that's them rolling through this gate of light here. So what happens next is basically the orbs are rolling on, and you see these small orbs with them that represent a new generation of people, a new generation of Americans and such. And as they roll on, the old orbs start to grow old and crack, while the small orbs by their sides grow up and become big like them. So this new generation of orbs is just rolling forward too. They're rolling through another long, safe, and straight path where there's no real danger in sight or anything, until they encounter their first trap. And this time, a pair of orbs, a red and blue orb, that were rolling together because they have forgotten their divisions. They were just hanging out. They were united. They both die in this one trap, and it is a tragedy. And the orbs react saying, oh my God, they don't know how to handle it or what this means. And this kind of represents the tragedy of 9/11, when it wasn't about politics and it didn't split people up, but everybody was dealing with this tragedy. After that, they are more united than ever. And as they go on, they have to go through this like long, straight, but very thin and precarious path. But they get through it by being calm and working together as they go through this area where everything is dangerous and they could fall off at any second. After they get through that, though, they have a chance to get together in group, and they are saddened by what happened. They're happy that they're okay. They all get together, and these orbs, even though they're different colors, are a real community, and they help each other get over it and keep moving forward through the maze. So as they keep moving forward through the maze, eventually they reach today, which is the path, with the point in the path where things split to the left and to the right. And here you can see that the blue orbs line up at this fork in the road and say we're going left. And the red orbs line up at this fork in the road and say we're going right. And that kind of represents the Republicans saying we have to go to the right and be more conservative, and the liberals, Democrats, blue, going off to the left. So this becomes an argument. They both think that the other path isn't going to get them to the goal because they can't see the ends of the paths, even though they're really pointed at the goal. So they start arguing. They come to the conclusion that fine, we'll split up, but what they realize is this gate is purple. They need both red and blue to get through it, to move on, like how America needs conservative ideas and liberal ideas in order to have diversity and have like a good government that's balanced and fair and considers all things. But as this goes on, they keep arguing until things break out in a fight. After being stalemated, deadlocked, and neither of them giving up any ground on their ideas, one of the blue orbs just charges a red orb and throws him over the edge. Then a red orb charges at the blue orb and throws him over the edge. And this represents all the political fighting that happens nowadays, and the fact that we're hurting ourselves, like when Americans were first divided, there's the colonists and patriots, and they were hurting themselves. They were all Americans, they were all born, but that didn't matter once politics came into play, and it doesn't matter here when they start fighting each other and killing each other. And then lastly, there's one red orb and one blue orb left. And they pause for a second when they realize that. And the thought comes into both of their heads that maybe they could stop at this point. Maybe they could still have peace. Maybe they could find which path is right, and maybe they could come together and still make it through the purple goal. But at this point, they decide it's too late. They've already been attacked by the other side. They've already been hurt. They've already been insulted. And so they charge at each other one last time. And what winds up happening is the blue orb pushes the red orb back and over the edge where he falls to its death, and then there's just one blue orb left. They're left questioning what it's done and knowing it can't go on alone and not having any answers, but having realized that basically it destroyed its own chance, its own future, and chance to get to the goal.